Jeff Gunderson. I've been a resident of Mesquite for 7 years, so if the other resolution about election passes, I can still run for the city council. I saw online that Mesquite has been noted as a good place to retire to. So I think it might be prudent before you change the status quo that you check and find out why people are coming to this town. Also, I was at a hearing in the Nevada Resort Association has done a study, and more people are coming to Clark County, and they're not gambling. They're here for ecotourism, to go out and look at the geography, the preservation areas. Mesquite is a natural place for them to stop and head out to Gold Butte. Also, if I understand, part of the reason this came up is because the BLM wouldn't grant a third extension. Is that correct? That kind of generated this? Is that what your comment was earlier?
We don't answer questions right now.
Well, that's what it sounded like. So my question to the city manager that I can ask would be, what exactly are we paying your staff to do? This has been going on for over a year. They granted 2 extensions. Now all of a sudden, Mesquite's surprised it's happening? Thank you.
My name is Dana Higgins. I'm a Snowbird resident of Mesquite. I think an example, and I try to speak as an example of the people who come and discover what's here. My first stop in Mesquite was 15 years ago, and I spent about a half hour at the Casablanca on my way from the Grand Canyon, Lake Mead, to the national parks in Utah. This just happened to be a stop on the road. Had no clue as to anything else here. Then several years later, come retirement, sort of just a variety of flukes, ended up in Mesquite as a snowbird and discovered Gold Butte. My partner likes to gamble. I don't care to so much, but I love to be out and hiking and enjoying the resources that are in this area. And it is a treasure, and it's an unknown treasure. If it were given protection, it could indeed bring more people and economic development to Mesquite. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, Gary Elgort, Mesquite resident, and tree hugger. Not really. I came out of New York City, very non-tree hugger place, but moving here has changed that in my life. I am currently the vice president of the Desert Fossils Hiking Club in Sun City. We have about 150 members, many of whom hike in Gold Butte very often. I thought it was interesting that the Bunkerville town showed up to tell you what they think about this situation, but they don't vote for you guys. I represent 150 people that do vote for your city council. Between all of us, we know hundreds of other people that are going to vote for who's on the city council, and we are going to very carefully pay attention to what decisions you make, whether you decide to support or not support Gold Butte. We would really appreciate your support of preserving Gold Butte. Thank you.
Mike McGreer, Mesquite. I came here 9 years ago from Washington, D.C. My wife was in the Pentagon when the planes flew in there. I lost friends in the Pentagon. I didn't come out here to get in a gunfight with Ryan Bundy. And yet I stood here a few weeks ago. You want to say something, Al?
Yes. For the individual back there that has to yay, if I hear another yay, I will have you removed from this room.
Thank you. I came here a few weeks ago when Ryan Bundy essentially told me, as a citizen of this country, he was directing that to BLM, of course, to stay out. Then Eamon Bundy stood up here, and he blabbered on about how he was engaged in a new revolution. It offended me. What this resolution, whatever you do with this resolution, it is saying something about you. It is saying whether or not you want to continue unlawful activity in that area, or whether you want to be sane and see that that area is protected. Now, one of these days, Clifton Bundy is going to get arrested and his people are going to be taken out of there. But this place deserves Gold Butte, and it deserves it as a national conservation area. It is not the backyard for the pioneer families of this city.
Mr. Mayor, City Council members, staff, I'm Tony Barron, B-A-R-R-O-N, I live in Mesquite. I want to start with the one thing we can all agree on. Everyone wants to see Gold Butte protected and kept open for the current and future generations. Some say that local folks can do a better job of protecting the area than the federal government. Of course, some also say that the federal government doesn't or shouldn't exist. But last year, without law enforcement presence in Gold Butte, we have seen increased vandalism in the area. Gold Butte needs and richly deserves permanent protection, either in the form of a national conservation area or a national monument. Given only those two choices, I believe everyone here would prefer national conservation status with its greater local input. Mesquite also deserves the benefits that permanent protection would bring. Everyone knows that protected lands draw more visitors, create new jobs, grow new businesses, and attract people looking to relocate. The City Council's action tonight will shape the outside world's view, for good or ill, of Mesquite for years to come. And it will inevitably be seen in the context of other local events. You can support NCA status for Gold Butte or reject it. You can implicitly support the idea that federal lands belongs to all Americans, or support giving them to Nevada because the state has such a great record of land management, turning 4 million acres of school trust lands into 3,000 acres remaining today. We can be known as a progressive, forward-looking community seeking to grow and enrich the lives of its citizens, or a community that would be just as happy if outsiders stayed away. We can stand with those who fly the American flag proudly, or those who, with deliberate disdain, fly below the state and county flag, as was done at Riverside for most of the last 12 months. We can stand with those who respect the federal government while not necessarily agreeing with everything it does, or we can stand with those who make threats against federal officials from this very podium. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your opening comments about that. We can be known as the gateway to Gold Butte or the gateway to Bunkerville. I ask the council to do what's best for all Mesquite and vote to reaffirm its support for national conservation area status with wilderness for Gold Butte. Thank you.